This is Keith Callis with How to Build Your Own Home. Welcome to my cubicle, my little away from home place. This is where I operate. You've seen me do a couple of videos in here, but not too many. I've got Mark Burr in here in my office here today, and we're talking about primary water technologies. I'm not even going to begin to try to explain what this is, but let me tell you just something that's really cool about it. If you've gone out there and done water witching, you've done this, and I've had dozens of students contact me. How should I find water? Well, I said, try to get a water witcher. The reason being is because you're at least tapping into the intuitive arts that are out there. Well, you don't need to do that. You need to contact this guy. I'm going to let him explain what primary water technologies is, and we'll ask some questions. And uh, let's go ahead. Mark Burr, tell us about primary water technologies. What's up with that? Speak loud.
Well, absolutely. So, primary water is a paradigm in the United States. It's been around almost a century, and it's based on the concept that Earth creates water in all of its forms, and it rises to the surface actually from the mantle raining out. They call it mantle rain now into our fractured crust. When it reaches the surface, we give it a very technical term, spring. Well, how about we go look for that spring water? And yes, the dowsers have developed six senses, and it goes back to the hieroglyphics. I brought in technologies to that, one of which was used with Stephen Reese, our founder of this paradigm, back in California in the 30s, 40s, 50s. I use technologies, geophysical technologies, two of them that are very unique. I'm the only one who uses those together around the world to locate high volume, high quality water wells. You know, the kind that you want, drinkable without need for filtration, bacteria free, under pressure, so low static head or free flowing if you're lucky. So you can drop in a submersible pump, put on solar, and you're off and running independent water on your homestead or wherever you need it.
So explain some of those technologies. One of them I understand is a data set that came as a result of, I don't know if it's 3D seismic or whatever it may be. And when they had this data, it was an anomaly they couldn't figure out. Well, you figured out what that anomaly is. Can you explain what that technology is?
Yeah, so the two technologies, one is a gamma ray scintillation counter. We're capturing natural gamma ray emissions from the Earth. This was developed by Dr. Armin Bickel. Believe it or not, Operation Paperclip came with Werner von Braun, ended up at Vandenberg Air Force Base, developing satellites, technology for satellites. Brilliant man. Anyone who met him said he was brilliant, and he was developing these and using these. Ran into Stephen Reese, and they used them. Water blocks, dampens natural gamma ray emissions. Building a mousetrap like that is another story. So that gives you a surface map of hints of anomalies, right? Water's low. Where are these lows? Where are the channels? Where are the two rock formations? Another one is a passive seismic system called resonance acoustic profiling with one sensor, piezoelectric, set it on the ground with a 5 pound weight on it, and listen. We can go to 2,000 meters,
Wow.
7,000 feet. Obviously, I'm not surveying for water, generally deeper than 1,000 feet because we want to see what's deeper and rising through the fractured rock hydrogeology so we can tap it as shallow as possible for your well. Save on well drilling costs and maximize the quality of that water that is created in the earth and rising in its purest spring form.
So basically, you found technologies that were not being tapped. And as a result, these anomalies are showing you dense bodies of water.
Yes, and
Okay.
significant amounts of water at depth. You don't have to ask me. How about talk to any oil guy? They go 5 miles deep in the Bakken Shale or West Texas, 90% water. And it's not contaminated. When they bring it up with the oil, it's contaminated.
Right.
Okay. And then they have to clean it, re inject it, and all of that. It's water. We're a water planet. Okay. Through and through. So the scarcity model is out there. It changed from peak oil to peak water in 2010. And now we're over a decade into the scaremongers of scarcity preaching peak water.
It's just amazing. You wouldn't believe it, but down deep below, there's more water than you probably. There's a fly in here. You can't imagine how much water there is. It's not that it just keeps going and it dries out. It's like I have a site up here I did a video on about a week ago, and water was gushing out over the hillside. And we're only talking about 50 or 75 feet of a plateau, and it's gushing. Well, the reason being is because they had all this lawn and landscape up on top. It was watering and it hit down and it hit a clay bottom. You know what happens when you hit clay.
Yep.
It's not going to go anywhere. And so it came out of fissures and it ran right into the home. Well, if we can't assume that water is going to continue to go into infinite and into nowhere, it finds places where it needs to hang out because it really can't go anywhere.
So think about this. Geothermal is going down much deeper than our water wells looking for what? Water is steam, right? Superheated rock. Earth's natural steam engine, so you don't need a coal plant, right? So they're going down there. What happens to steam when it condensates, right? Like your hot lung against a cool plane of glass, condensation. So we are seeing massive recharge in deep wells in deserts where there's absolutely no way to account for any drop of water reaching 2,000 feet deep, and they're seeing massive recharge. Again, that is natural steam engine, natural water coming up. The Japanese, you go to Japan, sit in an onsen, and it says, oh, 824 feet below you, this is water is steam coming out of the volcano. That's kind of renewable, isn't it? Right? At some safe yield amount. And in Pagosa Springs, we've gone down 2,000 feet to see where that's occurring. Water is being made, and it is a renewable source for us. And it comes out, much of it, as vapor and creates our clouds, even. They know that. The GOES 7 satellites can see the vapor, especially after major tectonic events. All those cinder cone fields, mass. You see those strange clouds coming up? Those are coming, that's adding to our water cycle.
So our planet, the crust and the atmosphere, is a cold condensing surface.
Yes.
So the heat comes up, lands on that cold condensing surface, either particulates in the air or the actual Earth itself, which is cooler than the below the mantle. And as a result, it's got to condense, and as it condenses, got water droplets.
How about that?
So
There's a whole study, 2006. That's almost 20 years. This is not new alt science. 2006, PhDs. It put out numerous papers they'd worked on for their careers, and it's called Earth's Deep Water Cycle. They explain it in great detail, and they know about 400 miles deep are all the conditions for hydrogen and oxygen to come together. Various catalysts like ringwoodite and olivines to create H2O for our basement rock. It's crystalline, vapor getting heated out, and water. And it rises out, mantle rain, into a fractured crust where it starts to move. So drillers don't want to hear any primary water theory. I say, let's go look for fissure water in rock. Oh, okay. Yeah, we know fissure water. Because that's what the Witcher's doing, right?
yeah.
The Witcher's going, drill here. And you're like, but my barn and my power's over there. And he's like, drill where the water is, not where you wish it to be. And it's here. And it's going like this. And you're like, daggone. So we go to people who've had two Witchers come and map their property. Now they got 14 choices. So we'll come and go, great. We'll show you which ones are really good and the others need to move about 20 feet or forget about it. And we did that in California recently. And one of the drillers, site 2, was just so beautiful, it'll give you all the water you need and are allowed from under whatever their county rule was to get that water. And they had 18 choices. I mean, what do you do then?
So what he's saying is that this is a great way to save some money. I just had a student contact me. This was probably 3 months ago, and they spent $14,000 on a well to just drill it. They used a witcher. They brought a witcher on, and they had to drill 3 more times before they finally had to find water. Well, if they brought Mark on board, they could have saved a buttload of money. And I really do believe that because I grew up in the geology industry. I have a brother who's a geologist. He taught me about 3D seismic. He taught me about how they read the depth below. This is oil. This he can actually tell you what kind of oil, how fine the oil
And they're
is.
going deeper than we are by
Yeah,
far, right?
they're
And
going
yet they
much
can
deeper.
model that,
Yeah,
but somehow we can't bottle
yeah.
our down to
Sometimes,
2,000
for
feet.
some reason, we can't figure out what the reading is on water. No, that's not true.
So I spoke to the chief hydrologist of Nevada on Friday. Okay, won't name him out. Good guy, 20 years, right? And I asked him, hey, there are many basins where they do the calculation and there's water collapsing coming here, and then there's outtake. And they say, well, you're taking too much out, therefore it's going to dry up one day. The hay farmers out in Eureka, Nevada said, hey, we actually did the calculations and we like what you're saying. It makes sense because we should have gone dry a long time ago. That's called a positive balance in hydrology. I asked him flat out, have you ever seen a model where they included recharge for below in the model? And he hesitated. He said, no. They know what occurs. They can
So
take cameras down.
water is being replenished from below That's basically what you're saying.
Absolutely. It's the source water of our planet, of our oceans, and then it circulates. And that's the hydrological cycle we learned from elementary school. And it gets dirtier and more used. And then we shove dirty water back into our shallow aquifers. How about we get access to the deeper, cleaner water moving up? And so some people call that H2O up here, H3O2, if you're familiar with Dr. Pollock, is sort of primary water. And now there's a new term of H3O positive hydronium, which is it's a term out there in space. It's our primordial waters. It's also down there, and it's a beautiful, healthy form.
Hmm.
Think about that.
Well, if you're interested, check out the links below to Primary Water Technologies. I strongly recommend doing that. If you are looking to do a well, I know a lot of you out there are doing that. Talk to a lot of you. Please check out Mark's site. I promise you it's going to be very beneficial. He stopped by on the way up. I appreciate that. He's got some clients just north of here, and he's working in my particular area. Glad I was able to present this to you. Again, this is Keith Cows with How to Build Your Own Home, studying every opportunity that's out there to bypass the middleman, bypass general contractors, so that you can save money and be more informed. And this, I think, is the best information I've heard when it comes to finding water on your site. You guys take care. Thanks, Mark, for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.